Welcome to Talks of Purpose. On this podcast, we bring in guests and interview them on their beginnings, middle, and purpose. We bring in guests that have a special influence and made it to a level that is worth praise and exploration. We hope that we can dive into different stories and inspire you, the audience, to find your own purpose. And today we have a very special guest, Miss Andreina Viera. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. This is a full circle moment for me, so I'm really glad to be here.
No, definitely. I know you were talking about how this place means a lot to you and you have a special story. So you'll definitely, we'll touch upon that later on today. But introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Who is Andreina Viera?
So I, Andreina, am a Lawrence. I've been in Lawrence since I was about 11 years old.
Wow.
So raised in Lawrence.
Cloud 978.
Yes, for sure. I am a serial entrepreneur, and it's funny. I was in LA last week, and someone said cereal, like cornflakes. No, not cereal. Cereal means
multiple.
Yes, multiple. I'm on my third venture.
Wow.
My latest is Arca HR, which is an HR consulting firm that focuses on helping organizations with their human capital management strategies and compliance in the HR, very complicated HR world. And prior to that, I founded a nonprofit called Boss Lady, which helped women become the CEO of their lives. And my baby, what I started about a decade ago, the Vieras, is a business management firm that specializes in back office support, particularly bookkeeping, safety, and environmental services.
Oh my God, you do it all, the nonprofit, the Vieras, Arca HR. It's an honor. I know I sometimes get to be around you, but me telling you right now, it's an honor to be able to put this event together, to be able to do this podcast with you. You inspire me, you motivate me to, believe in myself and be diverse, because it's all about all the different passions that we have and how do we execute and actually put them onto the world. Because I say that we all have million-dollar ideas, but how are you going to execute them? But let's dive right in. How has motherhood shaped you as a leader and entrepreneur?
Motherhood to me has been everything. I was a teenage mom.
Oh, wow.
And so I was, I've been with my children longer than I have, than without.
Yeah.
So they're integrated in everything that I do. My oldest is actually at MIT running the administration over there. And the commute to Cambridge, you think because it's a little closer, it's not, it's easier.
Not straight, yeah.
Hour and a half each way,
my God.
a good day, not including rain or snow. And I got fed up with the commute. I would leave my house by 6 a.m., come home by 7 p.m. I was tired, I was exhausted. By the time I'm home, I don't want to even see the kids, right? I want to go straight to bed.
Yeah.
So that was the motivation behind it. I was actually running an entrepreneurship program there where I would take engineers and I'm not an engineer, I'm not an MIT grad, but I'm pretty smart.
Yeah.
And I'm a hustler. So I'm going to start my own business. And what I do for MIT, which is world renowned, I'm going to do for small businesses in the Merrimack Valley.
Wow, that's an amazing story. As someone who is close to one of your, sons, it's amazing how you're able to, balance it all, being, having multiple businesses. And at the time, taking that commute to MIT, I can imagine it was not easy, and especially feeling that motivation, like, wow, why can I do what I'm helping others do, but for other people in my community? Because like you said, you wanted to start off with those small businesses, and now you have leveled up to corporate America and so many other types of businesses. That's amazing. So I know you just spoke about what inspired you to start your business and, to pursue your current career path, but what's been the biggest challenge you've faced as a woman in business, and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest challenge has been my own beliefs in myself. I think that we all limit ourselves. We're our biggest limitation.
100%. Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Our own biggest limitations.
That's a fact.
We limit ourselves. And I think that just getting past the noise and getting past our fears You wouldn't believe it, but I do not like public speaking.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm here and I do it all the time, and I am an official public speaker. I've spoken in India and throughout the world.
Wow.
And I do it because I just get past those limitations and past the own self-judgment.
Yes.
So I think that it's really important for each and every one of us, regardless whether you're an entrepreneur or not.
Correct.
Just to really push through. You know those people that say they always have an idea.
Yeah.
But you never see them doing anything. Like, it's good to share your ideas, but go after them.
Exactly.
Pursue them. Too many people are too busy judging and contemplating on the
do I do it? Do I not? Am I gonna fail? What are they gonna think about me?
Yes. Let all the noise go and just push forward. Because at the end of the day, even if I look at this podcast 10 years from now, I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be important for someone.
100%.
And so it's all about pushing through the noise.
No, I love that answer because, I'm big on emotional intelligence. I teach it to the youth that I currently work with right now. And it's really like, I always ask my groups whenever I speak in high schools, middle schools, who is your biggest competitor? It's you. It's you versus you every single day. You have to wake up and want it for yourself because at the end of the day, like, you have to do it for yourself. As much as your parents, your family, your friends want you to win, if you don't want to win for yourself, you're not going to get there. So you have to really do it for yourself. And when you talk about the public speaking part, like, I get super nervous when I'm have to speak in front of like 800 people at Boston University, the Tasanga Center, like 1,000 plus. Yeah. And people think like, oh, Harold is always doing the public speaking. He must like love it. I'm like, it's scary, man. Like you get that drip of sweat going down your back. I'm like, it's nerve wracking, but it's such an inspiring story. Like to hear what you say, like it's all about your self-belief and pushing through that doubt that you set on yourself and that limit that you set on yourself. So if you're watching this and you have an idea and you've been contemplating for a minute, I hope this inspires you to just push through and make it through. And just, you're going to fail. It's going to be hard, but that's a part of the process. And it's all about the journey, not the destination. So keep going.
And it's all about having a plan because it's easier said than done. But if you have a plan, then you know how you're going to execute.
Exactly. So write things down, My next question is, when you think about your legacy, what impact do you hope to leave on the world?
I hope to help cure. It's my legacy is everything that I have been through in life has happened to me because of a greater purpose. And the purpose is for me to tell my story and help other women overcome barriers. That's my legacy. To me, the legacy is what happens from the day you are born, like if you think about a casket, until the day that you die. That line in between, that's your legacy. And I want people to see that line and see me as someone that was able to share my story unapologetically and was able to help other women heal and share their own stories, because stories have a purpose.
100%.
They have a meaning, and it's all about healing. I'm healing myself by telling my story.
Yes.
And whoever hears my story can somehow find strength within their own situations.
100%. When you said that word cure, like it really meant a lot to me, because as someone who's now more getting into like, public health systems, dealing with people incarcerated, things of that nature, like over at UTech, it's hard, and these are people who are going through a lot, whether it's depression, anxiety. You're living your legacy, you're sharing your story, you're being vulnerable. And to that point, when I started being vulnerable about my story, my undocumented process, being a DACA recipient, not thinking about college, and now getting an Oprah Winfrey scholarship, is when I started to feel like myself and I started to feel better. I didn't feel caged in, like, oh, I'm bottling everything in. Like, I was like imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
and so many people, live that. But once I shared that story in front of 800 plus people, I now share it, even if it's one person, because like you said, I don't know what they're going to get out of it and what impact that's going to do to them in their journey. So thank you for that. My next question for you, Andreina, is how has education, whether formal or through life experience, played a role in your success?
Education to me is everything.
And I know you told me you was doing something like around this
I'm
time.
actually May 19th.
Yeah.
I was counting, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting a 1-year MBA program.
Let's go.
Babson.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. And education to me has been everything. I graduated high school being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college in Los Angeles. My first degree was fashion design and
Oh, wow.
marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Then that was an associate's. Then I went back to get my bachelor's, but because the other had to get another associate.
Oh, wow. Damn.
So I have 3 associates under my belt.
That's
I've been
awesome.
studying forever. Until finally I was like, I'm gonna get my bachelor's. I'm gonna get my bachelor's. I got this. I'm gonna do it before my kids get theirs. I'm getting mine.
Yes.
And I did. And now I'm going for my master's. And
Let's go.
I'm proud of that.
I have to clap it up for that. You know, definitely, you know, like you said, it's been a journey. And, you know, some people, they stumble upon that first rock and give up. You know, like, oh, damn, I got my associates and it doesn't count. Oh, I'm done with college. I'm never going back. And I know so many people that have been through that. So your story of resilience, of doing it again and doing it again because you know that that's your goal and you're not stopping no matter what, is what we're just talking about. It is going to be hard. It is going to be difficult, but you have to push through. You have to block out that noise. You might have people in your life like, Andreina, don't go back. Go do this instead. Like, you have so much capacity to run your own, you know, fashion agency. You know, you said you did fashion design and marketing. So I can only imagine the opportunities that were in front of you at the time. And you're like, no, I have this goal set for me that I'm going to do it before my kids do it, and I'm going to get it done. So I applaud you for that, and congratulations.
Thank you. And I've also, in addition to that, like, I like how you said that I could have given up.
Yeah.
I could have given up 2 associates ago.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, I was like, wait, it doesn't stop here. So I did additional like education. I've been through programs. I started my entrepreneurship journey at E4All.
Nice. Same.
Learned with them. Then I went to a women's entrepreneurship course at Cornell. Then I did another women's entrepreneurship course in Yale.
Oh, wow.
Then I did another one at Babson. Then I got into Lawrence Lee's, which is Harvard backed.
Yep.
So I was like, and that's why to me Babson was where I wanted to go. I finished my master's, it'll be the first time that I walk through that graduation.
Oh my, that's amazing.
So it's gonna be a party when I finally graduate after pursuing education, higher education for 20 years.
No, that's amazing. And, you know, again, I can't wait for you to experience that moment. I got to walk the stage, you know, over at UMass Lowell in 2023. And it was a surreal moment for me because you tell 15-year-old me, 16-year-old me, you're going to graduate college. I'm like, what are you saying? Like, I'm not thinking about college. So it's a testament that, you know, our journeys matter, our stories matter. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
But Andreina, we're doing this podcast. We're also promoting our Rise and Thrive Women's Conference that's coming up. And we're actually in the actual vault, the venue that we're doing this event is such a beautiful place. But why this place? Like, talk to me. Why this? Why the vault?
So obviously I'm from Lawrence, so it's really important to represent where I'm from. Lawrence is
100%.
huge for me. But also it becomes a full circle moment for me because when I was in my early 20s, I went to this lawyer's office. I didn't know her, but my best friend and I just walked in there.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, we don't need any legal advice. We didn't even know what the word mentor meant.
Wow.
But we were like, we just need some advice, some life advice. And I was like, well, I've seen that you own buildings and you have a business. Like, what can we do to be like you?
Yeah.
And that was the attorney, Wendy Estrella.
Wow.
Who owns the vault. And so that's where my relationship with Wendy started, was literally me walking in there and saying, I know you don't know me, I don't know you, but I like what you're doing. Can you help me, guide me on what to do? And she was like, read.
Wow.
And she was the one that gave me the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was the very first motivational book, finance book that I ever read. And it changed my life.
Wow.
And now I'm here being able to do what she did for me unintentionally.
Yeah.
Right? She just said, yes, I have 5 minutes, let's talk. And ever since then, we've stayed in touch. I consider her one of my mentors. So it's really, really amazing how life.
Full circle moment. Life has a funny way of aligning the stars, and
Yes.
what you just shared about, just going for it. If you see someone out there that, you want to learn more from and just be a part of like their energy, their vibes, just go out there, knock on the door and tell them like, hey, I want to learn. I want to contribute to your journey as well by having someone else that you mentored. Because as much as she meant to you, I'm sure you might have, done a lot, meant a lot to her as well, because that mentor-mentee relationship, it always goes a long way. And as someone who loves to mentor people, I feel it when I see some of my, mentees in Chipotle and they're happy to see me, or they reach out to me at random moments like, hey, Jay, I'm about to go to NECO, Northern Essex Community College. I know you went there. What advice can you give me? So that's definitely amazing. And you talk about full circle moment. One of my first like official marketing gigs was here as well. Before this was the vault. So it was when it was like an empty bank, Mass Development had hired the Creative Collective to throw some events here, and they hired Minds of Purpose to do the marketing. And just to be back here and, continuing to, use the space for community building, for mentorship, for entertainment, for pushing the arts, pushing our youth is just amazing. So I'm super happy. But for women attending the Rise and Thrive Women's Conference, what message would you like to leave them with about embracing their power and well-being?
I think it's important to have a balance. And I think that coming to the conference is gonna, it will push you out of your comfort zone.
For sure.
Maybe for those that aren't. There are some women that you see them in all the conference, and then there are the others that you never see them at all.
Yeah.
So we want a mix of both. We want to be able to share with you what we've learned throughout our process, our journey. We want to be able to educate and inspire and guide, mentor as well. So it's important that women just get advice and do things that are outside of their ecosystem.
100%.
I have a funny saying. I would often go to talk about like relationship issues with a bunch of women that are all divorced. Okay, that might help. That might be good. But guess what type of advice you might get?
Leaving.
So it's important for you to just go and be with women that are in business. Be with women that are pushing forward unapologetically.
100%.
Go and introduce yourself. And if you are that woman that's already doing all of this, it's important for you to give back.
100%. Bring someone else with you.
Bring someone else with you. And that's really been part of that legacy. That's what that is all about. Is who, it's important what you did, but who did you help? And that's what this is that balance of giving, but also receiving.
100%.
So I'm really excited for it. It's outside of my comfort zone. I'm not one to host. I'm more of someone in the back end. But I felt that the community needed this, and we're gonna make something really special. I've been to conferences around the globe. And I think that we're curating something special because we're taking pieces that I've learned throughout different areas, different cultures, different conferences, and really curating something special for women, but not only women, right? For allies as well.
100%. We need the allies in there as well. So the men, the LGBTQ community want you here. And, just to add on, Andreina, to everything you just said about this women's conference, it also means a lot to me. I have two younger sisters. One is 18 and the other one is 4. And she actually has my same birthday. So it's insane. And then I also have...
Really? So, I have the same birthday as my brother.
Really? Wow.
I've never met someone.
Look at that. So I have the same birthday as my youngest sister, September 23rd.
November 22nd.
Look at that. That's crazy. Again, alignment. But I also, respect my mom, how hard she works. And everything she's done for me as far as like my journey of hardship. She's been my backbone. So this women's conference, you know, we also want you to feel that way. We want you to be here, be heard, be seen. So if you've ever like, you know, wanted to come to a conference, but you're scared because you're not a business owner or you're not a creative or you don't have many people in your network, we want you here. We want to support you.
Yes.
You know, we're going to have, you know, like Andreina said, we've curated an event for specifically, you know, everybody to be touched, for everybody to be felt and to be heard. So we want you in this room, and you want to tell them when it is and a little bit about it?
Yes, yes. So it's interesting how you talk about your mom. I didn't really have a mom. I got adopted by my grandmother, which is my mom. But thinking through that motherly figure and how most people get advice from their moms, I had to always go outside of the box. I needed to find my way, whether it be in foster care, whether it be through adoption, whether it be moving from country to country, city to city, making new friends. I think that the reason why this is so special is because it's really for everyone.
100%.
It's for everyone. And the more lost you may feel, the better off you are coming here.
100%.
Because we're doing this for you. And part of what we're going to be doing is we're going to have some amazing keynote speakers. We're going to have some panels. We're going to have some dance performance, some vendors. You're going to be able to have that one-on-one time with different vendors from around the community, around the Boston area. You're going to be able to learn about other programs, resources, opportunities. You want to get matched with a mentor. There's going to be a little bit for everyone. To this. Sometimes you just have to say yes and go with it, again, unapologetically.
Yes.
And this is something that we're doing to give back to the community. And once I was in Dubai, and I was being interviewed by the New York Times.
Oh, wow.
In Dubai. And when that was happening, they asked, like, what's been your number one accomplishment? And at that moment, I said, being from Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Wow, look at that.
And I brought Lawrence to Dubai. And now I want to be able to bring my worldwide experiences to Lawrence. So it means a lot to me that we're doing this and that we're doing it together, because I feel like you're my son's age.
Yeah.
And I think you've asked me to mentor or talk to you like several times. I've always been busy.
Yeah.
And this is where, you ask that again. Sometimes being persistent is what it takes.
100%.
And I was like, you know what, for sure, let's do this. I'm busy, extra busy, especially. The event is May 18th. I start my graduate program May 19th.
Yes.
But that's how we do it, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
No, Andreina, thank you so much for your time, for this podcast, for being a part of this amazing women's conference. You know, I hope to continue learning from you for the years to come and continue being impactful alongside with you, because, you know, your story of resilience, of, you know, not giving up and continuing. So I'm excited to see what else you create, because I know, you know, ARCA might not be the last venture. I know you might have some other things, maybe a book. Or do you have a book or not yet? Is that coming?
Yes. I'm working with a publisher, and the book comes out in October.
Look at that.
Rising Fears, and it's just one woman's journey, my journey of creating impact through my process, my story, my journey, and I'm really excited to share a little bit more about that during the event as well.
For sure. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. May 18th, Sunday from 4 to 8 p.m. We will be having the Rise and Thrive Women's Conference right here, Lawrence, MA, The Vault, Essex Street. Don't miss it. Thank you again, Andreina. Appreciate you. Peace out.